Hey guys, per usual, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. So I did one of these a couple months ago. It was 40 minutes long, a bit absurd, admittedly. This one should be a lot shorter. But just in case I lose you anyway, like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, hit me up on Twitter. So let's get started. So Fundstrat, one of the few valuable pieces of information I think they put out is a chart regarding altcoin cycles or alt season. If you're unfamiliar, alt season is basically when you can throw a dart at a barn door and make money. So what they're showing is the percentage of coins above 200% or 3x in the past 90 days. Their argument being that an altcoin season is when we get a high percentage of these coins 3xing, okay? On the bottom here, there's some correlation stuff. I don't really care about that, but so they're showing here is early signs of an altcoin season, or alt season, as it's affectionately called. I don't really use it to determine my trading decisions, but it's good to look at everything in aggregate. So speaking of aggregate, we're going to look at the altcoin total market cap, excluding BTC, obviously, and it basically looks like mini coins do. We had this ascending triangle, we broke up, we're back at the Kijun of the cloud. I'm going to show BTC and USD pairs on the daily cloud, but for the most part many of them look like this. You'll recognize a couple structures. There's really not too much of a diversity here. Everything's pretty correlative. You're kind of getting your ascending triangle stuff, or your Adam Eve stuff, or an inverted head and shoulders thing, or just complete free fall, which you're going to see in a couple of these alts. So just to clarify, this is bullish. I mean, we were below the cloud or in the cloud for over a year. Now we're above the cloud. This is what I want to see when I'm bullish, when I want to buy the dip, when I'm in buy the dip mode. Now the most bearish thing would be closing below the cloud, but otherwise it's fine. You know, the TK lines can cross, recross, whatever. As long as we're above the cloud, that's what we want to see. So Doge BTC, I only look at this on the weekly. I only look at this on Poloniex. I don't actually trade it, but it's a good barometer as far as what's going on market-wide. Again, another alt season sort of thing. If I were to buy any, it would be in this zone and only this zone, and I would sell everything up here. Not, again, this isn't investment or trading advice. This is just how I would play it. You can see it had a pretty clean but failed Adam Eve. It's like the Eve broke early and then hit 83 sats and just died from there. The RSI doesn't look great. I'm going to point out a lot of the divs, both from retrospective and like a near perspective, just because I get a lot of people asking me, like, how do I draw divs? What do I look at? How do I know what a div is? Blah, blah, blah. And what I mean by the RSI not looking great, it's below 50. It's breaking local lows on price as well, so I don't expect this to do anything much in the near term. It probably needs another reaccumulation cycle of multi-week sort of thing. So it'll sort of drift downwards, probably to 35 or something. But overall, it doesn't look great, which isn't a great sign for alt season, because generally Doge, so goes Doge, as goes Maine, whatever that saying. So Doge is kind of the barometer, the weather vane. Looking at ETH, and again, these BTC charts in general are all going to get slaughtered because BTC is kind of outperforming everything over the past couple of days. But when we see multi-month patterns being broken, it's definitely concerning. When we see price breaking below the cloud, that's concerning. This is a diamond bottom potentially, which would be a failed diamond bottom. We had a similar diamond bottom set up here that failed. You can see it stayed below the cloud and just died from there. And again, we had the ascending triangle set up on the USD pair. It looks great. It's above the cloud near the Kijun. It's above the breakout point of the horizontal, the 162 zone for Bitfinex. Overall, I'm not as bearish as a lot of people I see bearish on ETH USD. On ETH BTC, who really knows at this point? But I'm much more certain that ETH is bullish just in generally compared to everything else. But, you know, the ETH BTC pair is a bit of a mystery for me. Other than it looks super bearish. It's, again, it broke a multi-month pattern, breaking down from the cloud. Not what you want to see. There's no bull div yet, which just tells me that bearish Momentum has not been exhausted just yet. So, bids around the 160, 150 zone on Bitfinex there. XRP looks not good at all. Again, below cloud, I don't care. I don't touch it. It's bearish. Below cloud, it's bearish in free fall. I'm going to say free fall a few times for some of these BTC charts, but this is not something I want to touch if it's in free fall. You can see it had some semblance of a bull div. It has a semblance of a bull div right now. RSI is below 20, which is just, you don't see that too often. And I say that as a buy to mean reversion signal. So as in, if you start buying here, you'd be offloading at the Kijun on the daily. The daily USD pair broke a multi-month support. It looks like, you could draw this as a horizontal as well. It's basically at the horizontal. So we'll see where that goes, but it doesn't look good, no matter any way you slice it. And this is a parabolic downtrend. And I won't say that any other chart besides that one, I don't think. EOS, again, just like ETH, it's kind of outperformed ETH, though, pretty handedly. It's at the Kijun, though, like ETH, like many things are, like the altcoin market cap. It reached its previous triangle consolidation where it broke down. It had an Adam and Eve, it broke up, now it's above the cloud. So these are all good things. RSI below 50 isn't too concerning for me, as long as it holds the Kijun. BTC pair, free fall slaughter, and the RSI kind of backs that up. I don't see this building a bull div anytime soon, so I wouldn't really touch it on the BTC pair. In order to re-long this on the BTC pair, it would have to be back above the cloud, the bullish TK cross, which will take some time. LTC is a bit of a mystery. It's got its halving coming up, obviously. 100 is a massive psychological zone. It's at the Kijun, great. It's got this falling wedge situation, which is juicy. No bull div yet. So I really like to see a bull div with a falling wedge if I make that trade. But overall, it doesn't look terrible, but if you look at the BTC pair, it does look pretty toppy. It hit its local high historically, and it might just continue to bleed out, for months from here, in regards to the BTC pair. Doesn't mean you can't make money on the USD pair. It just means you're going to lose money if you're not trading BTC instead. Binance coin, BNB. Super interesting chart. I don't think it's exactly organic, but that's not really up for debate. That doesn't really matter. I'd be a buyer back down at 17 level by the Kijun. You can see it hasn't really had a bear div per se. Maybe between these two highs, but it just keeps pushing. It doesn't matter. It's in kind of like FOMO zone, just price discovery-ish. I think the all-time high is actually like 25 or something. I don't actually know. I don't think it actually hit the all-time high on the USD pair. The BTC pair definitely did. It's working on this megaphone pattern, which isn't bullish. So I expect this not to continue. It's gone so high so quickly that it'd be a danger to continue trading this, I think, on the BTC pair. You can see it had a massive bear div here. It did break back above 50. I don't really know how to read this, other than it just looks kind of like a mess on the BTC pair at the moment. The Stellar USD and Stellar BTC pairs. First thing I looked at was the Stellar BTC bull div that's being worked on here. It's a pretty good one. It is near 25, it looks like, but it's a pretty massive free fall. Stellar is a dangerous one to trade because of all the airdrops that are being released, like 25 million, 50 million, whatever it is. And they've got the Coinbase airdrop as well. On the USD pair, it's kind of uninteresting until it breaks 13 cents again, just because that would be back above the cloud. It would be completing the inverted head and shoulders. This is another structure that you'll see the fractal of a few times on some of these other charts. But if it's in free fall on the BTC pair continuously, that's certainly a caution. I don't think it's going to be in free fall on the BTC pair if we hit 13 cents again. For ADA, so ADA BTC had a massive multi-month inverted head and shoulders that finally broke up, and you can see we're in the 3-day cloud. So the 2500 would be a 2500 sats would be a target for the super cycle move, basically a 2x from here. You can see it's back at the previous horizontal breakout from the head and shoulders, the neckline. Most importantly, it's still in the cloud. So if it can hold into the cloud as we try to break this super cycle, alt season, whatever, then I like 2500 as a target. The USD pair looks like EOS does actually. Had its Adam and Eve ascending triangle, broke up, went to the previous triangle consolidation zone and kind of pulled back from there at the key June. Still bullish though. Tron is kind of the latest of the inverted head and shoulders as far as the cycles are concerned. So you can see it's had this multi-shouldered head and shoulder thing. It might get another shoulder here. Cloud does not like it right now. Bearish Kumo breakout, bearish Kumo twist. RSI is below 50, it just doesn't look good. The BTC pair is in free fall. RSI lowest ever recorded, maybe lowest was here. I wouldn't be surprised if it returns to its like Wyckoff accumulation zone between like 250, 350 sats, something like that. No bull div to be seen here just yet, so definitely not something I'd want to touch. Monero looks good. It's got very ETH reminiscent. I think it's actually outperformed ETH. 85 would be the zone looking for a pullback. It is bullish on the cloud. 60 would be the rebuy. Kijun, you can see it kind of broke this RSI trend. So it's likely to pull back more so than continuation, I think. Still above 50 on the RSI though, so those are all good signs. It did, however, break a multi-month consolidation. XMR BTC looks kind of like XRP USD in that it's beginning to break down from its diagonal support line. Dash looks just like EOS kind of, ETH kind of, XMR kind of. Again, it broke its RSI trend. No real bear div on this at all, but it'll probably pull back to 100 honestly, and then make a decision from there just because it's a psychological level. But 166 would be pretty easy target during the super cycle alt season situation. The BTC pair does not look good. Cloud does not like this. Again, it's breaking multi-month supports. It's breaking multi-month RSI trend. I wouldn't touch this on the BTC pair. The alt season target is 300 though. If we, the 3-day cloud is telling you when this TK crosses bullish and we're in the cloud and we stay in the cloud, there's a long-term chance of hitting 300. It's going to sort of pause at 166, but 300 would be the target for that. XTZ, I'm a massive XTZ hater, much like Zeke. I don't think there's any purpose for Tezos at all, ever, period. I think the project's crap. But anyway, the chart popped off, it had a really nice Adam Eve, and it had an inverted head and shoulders in the Eve, which you see occasionally, super bullish from a reversally perspective. You can see it hit the 1618 from the previous high to low. So it's kind of like your sell signal anyway. Massive bear div on this as well. $1 would probably be the psychological support as well as the Kijun on the USD pair. BTC pair also had massive bear div. Kind of like 1800 sats. 18,000, excuse me, would be the pullback target. But I don't really want to, I wouldn't touch this personally. From a tech perspective, without a clean reaccumulation pattern or something to tell me that this is going to break all-time highs, for instance, or at least retest all-time highs. And again, it had an Adam Eve situation, multi-U-shaped bottom type dealio. Neo has a similar ETH type structure where it had the ascending triangle break up past the cloud. Now it's kind of like back below the Kijun. This one's kind of a mess. A little bit of a rising wedgie sort of situation. Not something I want to trade. And again, the BTC pair, free fall basically. No bull div yet. Hasn't made a lower low from the previous low. It does look bouncy right now, but nothing I'm buying. I don't really buy weakness, I buy strength, or buy bull divs. So this isn't a picture for me that I would want to touch. But you can see it broke down from the ascending triangle. That was kind of all she wrote, or ascending channel rather. ETC, again, Adam Eve, broke above the cloud, kind of like Neo-E as well, where it just overshot, then broke the Kijun, kind of back at the horizontal support. Another coin I just won't ever touch. I just think it's too much nonsense going on with the ETC. As in there's no there. But the ETC BTC pair recently hit the local all-time low, basically. Kind of a bull div there too, but not something I'm looking to trade. I just think there's other cleaner charts to trade. Maker, oh man, this free fall is just a beauty. RSI, no bull div. Again, nothing I want to trade. I don't buy weakness. I buy strength. Okay, strong like ox, or I don't touch it. Broke below the cloud on the USD pair. Broke below the cloud, and it's just been complete curtains for Maker BTC since then. And again, no bull div, no hope in sight. Nothing I want to touch with the 10-foot fall on either pair here. They're doing a lot with the stability fees. They're still trying to grow up, basically. DAI isn't doing so hot from a peg perspective. So they've got some issues to work out. I think from a fundamental perspective, once they figure that out, if they do, then Maker would be worth maybe re-looking at again, but certainly right now I wouldn't touch it from a tech perspective either. NEM, similar to ETH Neo, where it EOS, where it had this ascending triangle thing and then broke up. This was more of a rising wedge, so it kind of followed the rest of the market, kind of got bailed out there. The USD pair is in the previous historic wick zone, so all this is fair game for a bounce. Arguably a building bull div, one of the earliest, if you're going to call it a bull div, but it's below the cloud, bullish, bearish TK cross. Again, I don't buy weakness, I buy strength. This is not something I want to buy. BAT, super interesting. It kind of did its own thing these past couple weeks. And I'm showing this retrospectively just because people ask me about it, not because I'm like, oh, look at this, I did this, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so it had this massive bull div, building over months. Finally made a move, edge to edge trade beautifully. Almost didn't make a lower low that whole time. And now it made a bear div, and that's kind of it. It's probably going to reconsolidate. I, based on Kijun, wouldn't touch it until 30 cents, basically. But if this flags out again, which is certainly possible, I would want to see RSI go lower to kind of reset momentum. The BTC pair broke a multi-year diagonal resistance line. You can see it broke and then it retested, throwback, and off it was to the races. This is a really good example of a cloud that you should never look at, obviously. It's just a complete ranging mess. So it's a great example of when not to use the cloud. Just stick to a simple line. You'll do much better. It did have a bear div recently. So it had a massive higher high and on less momentum. Zeke, man, Zeke's my favorite punching bag, okay? I just can't help it. Zeke BTC all-time lows recently, yesterday. I don't expect this to pull up anytime soon. Again, I buy strength, not weakness. There's a minor bull div here, similar to NEM, early stage. But if this does go lower, which it looks like it's going to, I would be watching that RSI like a hawk if I was thinking about going long. It had this Adam Eve situation that had a kind of weak USD breakout and hasn't really gone anywhere, but it looks decent from a trend perspective if it can hold above the cloud. But yeah, that BTC pair, oof. Raven, and I'm just kind of jumping down the market cap table at this point, but Raven again had this massive edge to edge. This is the stuff legends are made of right here. Just to see this actually play out on an alt. Like if you look at FLDC, which is an old alt that got delisted on most places, a lot of these alts had these crazy like pump and dumps. It had this cloud, and it was like, oh well, if it gets in the cloud, there's a possibility of an edge to edge. And this actually happened, but FLDC not so much. So it had this bear div, and then it just kept going, kept dying. I think that was mainly mining related. Personally, in general, my perspective from miners is they just mine and sell and recoup ROI, pay their people, whatever they have to do. So they don't care what the coin is. They don't care what the chart looks like. They have electricity to pay, whatever. Then there's the certain percentage of miners who are spec mining and kind of mining and holding, whatever. So eventually found a bottom, kind of near 0.1, a penny basically. And then it kind of 7x'd from there. But it had multiple bear divs to tell you it's time to get out. But if it holds this level above previous all-time high, reconsolidates, can certainly go higher. It does look like a head and shoulders though, so it's not something I'd feel comfortable holding personally. In 0.45 would be the pullback target. The BTC pair kind of went too close to the sun and just died. It's almost back down to 1K sats. That level will probably hold for another consolidation and then a decision, so it may go lower from there, but doesn't look like anything with bullish strength right now, certainly. Did have a really nice bull div prior to the run though, so again, those bull divs and bear divs are something you want to pay attention to if you're looking to get in and out of anything with size, especially. Size. 0x USD, again, looks like XLM. Stellar has this inverted head and shoulder possibility, kind of uninteresting until it breaks 37 cents. And ZRX BTC is just absolute free fall. Just weeks straight of selling. No chaser, straight down. No bull div either in sight. So again, I'm buying strength. I don't know about you. There's no strength here. I'm not paying attention to this chart again until I see a bull div. You can see the previous wick low. It's getting close, so they'll probably find some buyers there. I will not be among them. That's all I have for this one. Like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter, and happy trading.